Lincoln and Carson found themselves in a position to make an enormous difference, and each rose to the challenge. Their stories, like those of the two other leaders here, Frederick Douglass and Dietrich Bonhoeffer, are as astounding as any from the great myths, adventure novels, and films that we remember and return to again and again. The difference is that these 5 stories are real. They actually happened. They're part of our past, and while each of these stories mattered a great deal in their respective eras, they also have much to offer our generation and those that come after. The 5 leaders in this book are important to us today because we live in a moment when our collective faith in national figures, be they from government, business, or religion, is waning. When we think about the latest election or the most recent financial scandal and take stock of the people we call leaders, we grow concerned that the men and women capable of tackling the problems and delivering on the promise of this age aren't among their ranks. History helps us here. It gives us perspective on how other people in other times dealt with huge challenges and large opportunities. It provides a sharp lens through which to view ordinary people doing extraordinary things. It also exposes the fallacies in some of our current assumptions about leadership. For example, these 5 stories make it clear that leaders can emerge from many different backgrounds, genders, races, and personality types. A shy, reserved person such as Rachel Carson turns out to be as authoritative as the President of the United States. Charisma and aggressiveness, 2 attributes we often associate with important leaders, aren't essential to making a big, worthy impact. Nor is real leadership primarily a result of specific endowments with which a few special people are born. The truth, it turns out, is quite different. As the examples from the past here demonstrate, courageous leadership is actually a result of individual people committing to work from their stronger selves, discovering a mighty purpose, and motivating others to join their cause. In the process, each of the leaders and the people they inspire are made more resilient, a bit bolder, and in some instances, even more luminous. When this happens, impact expands, and the possibility grows for moving goodness forward in the world. This book is about the making of 5 unforgettable leaders who lived, worked, struggled, and triumphed in different circumstances toward different ends. With one exception, their paths did not cross. 4 of the 5 knew during their lifetimes that they'd accomplished their respective missions, but none knew the full power of their influence that continues to reverberate. What each person could see was that he or she was in the midst of a profound personal crisis. It was not of his or her making, and none of the 5 had seen such turbulence coming. But once they were in the middle of calamity, they recognized that they couldn't falter and then fail to recover. They couldn't give up. Rather, each resolutely navigated through the storm and was transformed. Each of these leaders, Ernest Shackleton, Abraham Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, Dietrich Bonhoeffer, and Rachel Carson, was thus forged in crisis. Intentionally, sometimes bravely, and with the messy humanity that defines all of us when we're at our most vulnerable, these people made themselves into effective agents of worthy change. They worked from the inside out, from within themselves, making a commitment to a bigger purpose, summoning the courage to adhere to this purpose in the face of huge setbacks, and harnessing the emotional awareness to navigate the turbulence around them. They then used the internal assets and insights they gleaned about their own leadership to try to change the world in important, positive ways. The book is laid out story by story. It opens with explorer Ernest Shackleton's expedition to the South Pole in 1914 and reconstructs the slow